Right now we have a special presentation. We have more than one, but the first one, to tell you about it, I would like to introduce Mr. Aaron Thunder Hart, who is the founder of Spiritual Endeavors, and he will explain why he's here and what he's going to do.
Dr. Master, it's a pleasure to finally meet you. Okay. Like Dr. Masters, I wear a few different hats. Dr. Masters is founder of a university, CEO of an organization. He changes his hats very often, as do I. It was mentioned earlier, I was referred to as the webmaster for the university. I would like to make it clear that I am not here in that capacity this evening. About 4 years than I care to admit ago, I started a small website called Spiritual Endeavors. We grew very quickly, very fast. Before long, we had facilities operating on 3 continents. We were receiving over 3 million visitors to the website per year. And we were awarded the top 1% destination on the internet. We grew way too fast. We're taking a breather and trying to collect ourselves. I won't go into the specifics of it, but I will say that we are rebuilding gracefully and at a more comfortable pace. Spiritual Endeavors is no stranger to greatness. We have submissions from best-selling authors, multiple best-selling authors. It was mentioned earlier, we have some graduates here from Australia. You will have no problem recognizing the name Margaret Dent. She has been a good friend of Spiritual Endeavors for years until her passing. And probably since her passing, she has been more of a friend with her special talents. We have had, are you familiar with the term near-death experience?
Yes.
Everybody?
Yes.
Dr. Raymond Moody, the gentleman who coined the term near-death experience and brought that term into mainstream consciousness, served a few years on our board of directors. I understand now he's up to his 5th best-selling book, maybe 6th, 7th. Hard to say, the gentleman's very prolific. He was the chair of consciousness studies at the University of Las Vegas, Nevada for, I believe, 3 or 4 years. We have had submissions from the office of the Dalai Lama. We have had personal submissions, Spiritual Endeavors, from the sister of the Dalai Lama. I mention all this to you not to brag about the organization I started, but I want to impress upon you that Spiritual Endeavors is no stranger to great spiritual teachers. With that understanding, I believe that you will appreciate the award that I will be soon presenting to Dr. Masters. Okay, that out of the way. There's so much to say here, but I'm limited by time. Limits go against my grain. The spirit is a limited thing. It's a limitless thing. And it lives in limitless space, time, dimensions, and other nouns and adjectives that our vocabulary can't even begin to touch. I really dislike limits. So I'm going to speak to you tonight about limits. Actually, freedom from limits. Besides the education that you received at the I.M.M universities, one of the best things about graduating from either the University of Sedona or the University of Metaphysics is freedom from limits. If you were to have graduated from another metaphysically orientated university, there would be limits as to what you can include in the name of your personal endeavor. There would be limits as to what you could teach, how you could teach it, and other legal limits. Dean touched earlier on some of the legal battles Dr. Masters has waged through the years. He is definitely a pioneer in the field. He has worked long and hard to remove limits from you, the graduates of the universities. If you were to have graduated from, let's say, the Unity College in Missouri, and you decided to start a personal ministry, you would have to have the name Unity in your endeavor, as in the Unity Church of Las Vegas. If your endeavor was based on the philosophy of the science of life, you would end up with something like the Science of Life Church of Sedona, Arizona. I can almost guarantee you that you will never, ever, ever see an I.M.M. Church of Sedona. Not because there isn't one, but it is because of the freedom from limits that Dr. Masters has made such an integral part of the organizations he has founded. As a matter of fact, you will rarely, if ever, see any mention of I.M.M. in any of the endeavors of its members, by design. Dr. Masters understands the limitlessness of our spirit and has from the beginning set things up in as much as legally possible to allow you, the graduates of the universities, to go out and to teach without limit. He asks that you subscribe to the basic understandings and precepts of what you have learned in your education at the universities, but he understands that you each are unique expressions of a limitless universe. You each have your own individual talents. You each have your own way of expressing and teaching. And Dr. Masters wants you to experience and express the limitlessness of your subject in your own unique way. This is one of the greater gifts bestowed upon you as graduates. In as much as possible, in a dimension defined by limits, Dr. Masters has given you freedom from limits. You are free to be you. You are free to express your knowledge, your understandings, as you see fit. This is a legacy that Dr. Masters has passed on to you. Therefore, I ask you to please understand and appreciate the enormity of the gift that Dr. Masters has given to you. I hope that you each, all of the graduates here present this evening, take the time to appreciate it, to contemplate it, to use it wisely, to go forth, be fruitful, and accomplish limitless things. Tonight we are here to honor Dr. Masters. Those of you who are graduating over the next day or two can best honor Dr. Masters by accepting the invitation he has given to you to explore your own limitlessness. Achieve your full potential. Tonight, I am here as the founder of Spiritual Endeavors as an expression of gratitude to honor Dr. Masters for his many accomplishments and his contributions to the spirituality of mass consciousness, and in particular to New Thought metaphysics. And his legacy of limitlessness that he extends to you is definitely not among the least of these. So, I have been authorized by Spiritual Endeavors to come forth and present a very special award to Dr. Masters. As Dr. Masters makes his way up to the stage, I'd like to add that it has recently been estimated that if we were to take the writings, teachings, recorded lectures, etc. of Dr. Masters, and it was converted into printed matter, it would fill over 52 well-sized volumes. The man is prolific. Read the award to you at this time. Spiritual Endeavor is an independent educational organization for the advancement of spiritual, holistic, and environmental awareness, dedicated to expanding consciousness and awakening self-knowledge. In acknowledgement of multitudinous accomplishments, including the founding of the University of Sedona, the University of Metaphysics, the International Metaphysical Ministry, which has graduated at this point over 10,000 doctoral level ministers and teachers, and maintains over 3,400 active metaphysical ministries in over 100 countries. Lost my place. And in addition to over 50 years of dedicated full-time service towards the advancement and deeper understanding of New Thought metaphysics through such activities as conducting weekly public ministerial services and lectures, providing free phone-in inspirational message services, broadcasting free video metaphysical lectures and services to a worldwide audience, offering the free daily mini-consultation worldwide by the internet, proudly presents this award to and declares Dr. Paul Leon Masters, Spiritual Teacher of the 20th Century.
But I think we can do even better. The word aloha, A-L-O, is the presence of God. Ha is breath. We're here together with our breath and the presence of God. So one more time with knowing the value of the word. Let's all aloha. 50 years goes by really fast. 50 years ago, there was an Institute of Parapsychology. Dr. Masters always liked blue and white. It was a blue and white room, and my mother had been looking for another answer. My father had passed away, and he came back to her in spirit, kissed her on the forehead, and said, "There is a forever." So she wanted to go find out, what is this spirit about? And there were not a lot of places in the early 60s that were in Los Angeles that would give answers like this. Dr. Masters was there before Oprah, before Wayne Dyer, and before Louise Hayes, before all of these, before Deepak Chopra. And you know what? He gave us keys. He gave us the keys to the universe. He gave us a chance to look inside ourselves and find God. What better gift? What better gift could you have than to be able to find God? I was going to Beverly Hills High School, and for my oral book reports, I was doing book reports on cosmic consciousness, and Alan Watts, the joyous cosmology. And my teacher said, "Are you trying to proselytize a new religion?" I said, "Oh no, this isn't a new religion. This is something that's been going around for thousands of years. It's the truth." And I think maybe the greatest gift I found was to be able to sit down and through the voice of meditation, Dr. Paul's beautiful voice, I was able to sit and find out how to meditate. And I've meditated every single day of my life since I started teaching. With your teachings, that was over 50 years ago, well, about 50 years ago. And what a great, great gift that is. I have to recognize today every single one of you, because each one of you has a spark that's been lit. This night has been wonderful, hasn't it? I didn't know what to think. I mean, this has been so beautiful. All of the beautiful words and the music and the heartfelt thanks. And none of those really even begin to touch, because tonight there are angels present here. There are spirits present here. There are many people, like my mother, who have passed on. They're smiling down on Dr. Masters right now. Thousands of people. And there is a tradition in the Buddhist tradition you get when you take your precepts. You're given a lineage that goes back to Buddha. Now, this isn't done in our teachings, but I really believe that when you have a teacher who's given you a key that's lit the fire of God in your soul, that lineage goes through you to every single person you touch, and you will touch hundreds and thousands of people. So there's a burning light throughout the planet and into the universe and in heaven that reaches us here today at this very special place to recognize Dr. Paul Masters. And it goes beyond words. It's a spirit that's alive. It's like in Fantasia when they had that beautiful scene where each one was holding a lamp, a torch, and they were walking up the mountain. You remember that wonderful scene? And that's what it's like. It goes on. It goes on and it goes on. It goes on through infinity. But when you become a teacher, and when you become a student of God, and when you find a way to look inside your heart and to share the love and the light that you find there, you do have the greatest gift. And I wrote a book. I decided to put my teachings together and all the messages I've gotten from all my meditations. And I asked Dr. Paul to please do the opening forward for the book. And I worked on the book for a long time, lots and lots of messages. It was very good. And then Dr. Paul gave me a few pages. And in those couple of pages, He had everything I tried to put in the hundreds of pages of the book. And I kept going back and reading. I go, how did he do that? How did he in 2 pages get everything I was trying to say? So beautifully put. And there has been sometimes, I'm sure, temptations. You could be wearing guru robes right now and have 8 Rolls Royces outside. In the time through the 60s when guru consciousness were happening, you could have followed that path. There have been many, many times where there are people who went for the ego, and there's many temptations you'll have. But I always know Paul wanted instead for you, each of you, to have the keys to the universe, the keys to God, the keys that will unlock the truths that are inside you. And this is the greatest gift you can have. And so for all of, and from all of the angels, and from all of the people who aren't here tonight, and for the thousands of people who would like to be here, for every single one of you, each one of you that has this gift to touch people as Dr. Masters has, we say thank you. And we, from our hearts, feel our hearts open and try to share for a second here the love of all the people who've been touched by Dr. Masters, the light. And would you please stand on your feet one more time here and put your hands together. There's going to be a lifetime achievement award here that will be given, recognized Dr. Masters. We honor you. We love you. We share in the life that you've given. Thank you so much. Wow, this is beautiful. This is a Lifetime Achievement Award presented to Dr. Paul Leon Masters for full-time service of 50 years from 1959 to 2009 as the founder of a worldwide ministry in 88 countries, emphasizing God-centered spiritual psychology based on decades of consciousness research, findings, education, and practical applications, resulting in over 1,000 recorded lectures, 31 higher consciousness meditation CDs, printed teachings equivalent to 50 books, 125 DVDs, covering many spiritual subjects, presented this 12th day of September 2010 during the University Graduation Week in Sedona, Arizona by the I.M.M. University System. Thank you, Dr. Paul. God bless you. We love you.
Thank all of you. Please be seated.